Hello. It's the... Oh my God. I have one earring on. I have one earring on. Really? Should I just keep my face like this? Nobody will be able to tell that I only have one earring. No, seriously. Well, since you just got on, Joe, I think I should tell you that I only have one earring on. What do you think, Joe? Do you see? Earring? Car? Do you see? I only have one. Hi, baby. One earring. Do you see that? Earring? No earring. I really... Look. I got it together tonight, didn't I? You know why? Because I watched an episode of This Is Us. And I was crying and couldn't get my act together. So, here's the earring. Here's the no earring. Oh, well, thank you. Anyway, okay. What are we talking about tonight? Tonight we're talking about how to make your Thanksgiving awesome, not suck, not be stressful, not be one of those holidays that you dread and that your children dread, but that you actually look forward to and are going to have a good time. So, my very good evening, Parenting Pioneers. Hi, Cher. I just thought I should tell everybody that I have an earring on in this side and no earring on in that side, due to the fact that I was watching a recorded thing of This Is Us and was crying. Oh, right. I know, Karen, you always, like, get out of town, man. Okay, so this is the deal for no stress for Thanksgiving. The very first thing I would like to say is plan accordingly. So you have to know the types of things that are going to entertain your child. If they are going to be sitting at the table and, hi. Oh, hi, Jorge. If you know that they are going to be getting distracted at the table or they're young enough, my kids, I don't really have this problem anymore, but when they were younger, I had the problem of them being able to sit still, and it's embarrassing when your kids can't sit still. That's where all the stress starts. That's the stress that starts. So you think to yourself, okay, it's got to be perfect. My child needs to be perfectly behaved and everything's got to be perfect, perfect, perfect. So give it a rest. It's not going to be perfect. Your children are real and that's just the way it's going to be. However, let's plan. So what is their favorite activity? You want it to be something that is, you know, compact, small, easy, that kind of thing. So the thing that I always brought, even for Spencer, not just Peyton, but for Spencer as well, was coloring or little tic-tac-toe, mazes, any of that kind of stuff that, you know, if they were sitting there for a while, they could do. Now, when I was growing up, there was always the kids' table. So you could be a little bit crazier at the table, but you want to be sure that you go over the rules with the kids. I mean, if you have a 2-year-old child, if you have a 10-year-old child, go over the rules and tell them what your expectations are. So spell it out clearly and say, I expect you to sit at the table. If you are bored, you can start coloring, or you can, if you want to give them the iPad, I mean, that's the good time that you can use it. For parents that are against electronics, those are probably the opportunities that you want to use to, you know, do it. Or like I said, you can give them something to color. You can give them one of those like books that have like a zillion and one things to do, like mazes, crossword puzzles, word finds are awesome. And kids can do that together at the table. So things like that that can entertain them, let them know. Like I said, what are your expectations of the children? I expect you to sit down, give them a time limit. I expect you to sit down for an hour And after that hour, if we're still sitting at the table, you are allowed to be excused. And so all of this anxiety that is building up inside of you leading up to Thanksgiving, because of course you're with your family and you want them to see how beautiful your family is and how perfect your child is, inevitably it goes wrong. So I'm telling you now, let it go. Life is not a Facebook cover. That is not real. Everything else is real. So let that perfect vision go. But having said that and planning for it, you also need to understand that, children are real. They're going to make noise. They're going to get loud. They're going to have fun. They may run around. That's okay. It's up north, it's not too cold that they can't, if they need to burn off some energy, go outside. Children are not little puppets. They're not supposed to just sit there with, like their hands in a prayer position and just sit and talk to everybody like adorable little creatures. They're people. So let them know that they can have fun outside. They can go play outside. Obviously it's still super warm here, so the kids can go out here. And that when they come inside, that you expect them to act like people. So, my first tip is definitely to plan ahead, pack a bag, let them know what your expectations are, and also let them know what the consequences are. So, I'm telling you, life is not a Facebook cover shoot and to expect the unexpected, but by the same token, that does not give your children permission to act like little turds and just start, getting away with anything they want. That's not permission to do that. So again, going in, let them know what the consequences are. Now, this is something people get caught up in a lot. Oh, we're at Thanksgiving. I don't want to cause a scene. I'm not going to discipline my child. I'm just going to, placate them. No. If your child is acting up, remove the child. And if he starts throwing a temper tantrum, leave with the child. Nobody needs to suffer. And you know what? It's best to do discipline before Thanksgiving. But guess what? If they act up at Thanksgiving, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You don't need to be perfect. It's not a big deal. It's always better. People are much more impressed when you handle your child appropriately. So if they act up, discipline them. It's just because you're around, your family and you want to make a good impression on your husband's family or your wife's family or the neighbor's family or whoever the hell you're with, that is not a reason to ignore discipline. You don't want to disrupt the dinner. You don't want to disrupt the lunch. Like I said, just remove your child, take him into another room. Don't freak out. Don't start screaming like a lunatic saying, how could you do this during Thanksgiving? You guys think of me when you start doing that this Thanksgiving. But don't freak out. Put them in a little timeout, take away their toy, do whatever it was that you told them you were going to do in terms of the consequence. Obviously, depending on the age of the child, depends on the consequence, but just remove them and let them know that that behavior is unacceptable and that you're going to go back and try it again. So that's my tip with that. Do not ignore discipline. The other thing that I want to say is, and it's really never too young, is to encourage your children to help clean up. And that, it's not just for the adults to do, but it's a great time for the children to pitch in. They can help put things out on the table and they can certainly help clear it away. It's really never too young. And even if you have the little ones, doing it hand over hand with them, if there's a big group of people and you can take the opportunity to sort of do a hand over hand and say, let's take this to the kitchen and let's put this on the counter and then it's going to get cleaned. And you can sort of show them how it's done and then make them a part of it. So if you're doing dishes, maybe they could help dry the dishes. It's really, really important that the children understand that, you know, it's a good time to help in that, you know, they don't just get waited on hand and foot. So I think that's a great time to do that because it's usually super busy and it would be nice if they would help. And, you know, if you know that there is a particular family member or person that you may be seeing this Thanksgiving that triggers some difficult emotions for you, try and think this through before Thanksgiving. So picture it and play it out in your mind how it's going to go. If this person's annoying, if they're always ridiculing you and saying something about you and never really have anything nice to say, play it out in your head and sort of role play with yourself and think about what you're going to say or how you're going to react, how you're going to feel, and have that conversation ahead of time so that you're prepared. And just like you're preparing your children for acting appropriately and what the consequences are going to be, you need to prepare yourself if you know that you're going to be in a situation that's difficult. And if family gatherings give you anxiety, have a plan. Hopefully there's somebody there that can help you or be a source of strength for you. If it's your partner, your mate, your child, a friend, a sibling, or no one at all, you need to handle it on your own. Make sure that you have all your coping skills in place and that you are prepared. Don't go in just like, oh, you know, when Spencer was young and he was super, super inflexible, every time I just went at it like willy-nilly and didn't talk him through, it just was a shitstorm. And, you know, I always used to think, well, I just can't always prepare like that and blah, blah, blah. But it really doesn't take that much time and it prevents so much on the back end. I always say this with anything. If you prepare a little bit on the front end, you will reap the benefits on the back end. If you don't take the time to prepare on the front end, you will pay for it tenfold on the back end. So just take this opportunity to prepare yourself for anything that may trigger you, prepare your children for anything that you expect out of them. And then most importantly is enjoy this beautiful time with your family and friends. Not everybody has that. And I think sometimes we take it for granted that we have a place to go that is friends or family or wherever it is that we're going. And I just think that it's so important to be grateful for that. And if you do know anybody that doesn't have plans, welcome them into your home because I can imagine that it probably wouldn't feel very good to be left out. I remember when I was in college, I always came home for the holidays. But I remember being in college over the summer and everyone was gone and I hated it. I felt so like out of place. So I would imagine that somebody that doesn't have family in town, wherever you may be, to invite them, make sure that they have somewhere to be. And that is really it. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Prepare yourself emotionally for the people who make you cuckoo and prepare your children, get them a bag of stuff, even include them in their little prep bag of what they're going to do to entertain themselves. And Peyton loves doing that. Even to this day, she loves doing that. So you can make it into like a fun thing, preparing like a bag for them sitting at the table. So that is pretty much it. Couple easy tips. Easy, not very time consuming, but super, super, super helpful. So I hope that helps. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend and I wish you all an amazing, beautiful, happy, healthy Thanksgiving filled with lots of friends and family. Love you. And I'm going to pop on next Thursday night from Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to be checking in on all of you, so tune in. Bye.